over to you. So I'll hand you
So I am
the
now
show.
Rick Gods.
So here at Bet Talk, this is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Gaming
Yeah.
/ betting, soon to be open within the UAE.
Have you found that people won't come on the show? Like any challenges because of the discussions? Like
I was a backpacker back then. I moved to a little small island called Malta, to every continent in the world bar Antarctica. I've traveled over 120 different countries. The world has become a very small place when you've been everywhere.
yeah. Is Dubai the best place in the world?
There's no place like Dubai. Saudi are years behind. Be built for people to come. It will be securityed on a high level. America, huge serious crime rate. Europe, serious crime rate. I mean, Monaco's fun for about an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's not much going off there, is there? It's a tiny place. Hello and welcome to another episode here at Bet Talks. My name is Rick Gods, and today we have a very special guest. We are going to be interviewing myself. Please welcome my co-host. She is an absolute sort, and when I'm not here, she's going to be stepping in for me. Let's welcome my co-host, Carmen. Welcome to the show.
Woohoo! I'm so excited to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to have you on here instead of directing me. It's great to have you on the show. Obviously, we're going to mix things up a little bit. It's going to be more over to you, so I'll hand you
So I am
the
now
show.
Rick Gods.
Yeah, this is me here.
Yeah, exactly. So, Rick, what is Bet Talks all about?
So, Bet Talks is a global podcast season where we are promoting licensing legislation within the UAE for gaming, crypto, Web3, AI, metaverse, everything emerging tech, bringing in key players to get their opinion on the market and the movement, what's happening here within the UAE.
So you're talking about the untalkable.
We're discussing topics that no one is mentioning. I mean, gambling within the UAE is extremely a grey topic. It's extremely, there is nothing confirmed. A lot of people are saying that these casinos, these licenses are coming into play, but nothing's actually confirmed. I mean, the proof is in the pudding come 2027 when this land-based casino opens in Ras Al Khaimah.
What inspired the creation of the talk show?
Well, the gaming sector is the gambling industry is one of the biggest industries in the world, with an online revenue of over 800 billion. I mean, what is there not to talk about? I mean, this is a huge topic to talk about a Muslim country like the UAE actually accepting gaming within its Muslim territory.
Yeah. And do you think that will really happen?
I do think it'll happen. I think it's going to take a lot of mass adoption to accept this. It's going to take time. Just like Dubai is obviously evolving rapidly, the UAE is evolving rapidly on the tech side of things. Gambling is a completely different concept, okay? And under Muslim Islamic laws, it is extremely frowned upon. It is going to take time for community within the UAE to accept this. Now, that is a huge con. The pros of it is the revenue that it's going to bring and the big influential people that's going to bring here and the companies.
Yeah.
Not only is there huge tech companies, but there's huge gaming companies out there. So it's going to take time.
It's going to take time. Obviously, you've been involved in the gaming sector for a long time. So what experience do you bring to these podcasts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been in the gaming sector for nearly 8 years. I've worked with several operators, many affiliates, suppliers within this sector. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everyone in the gambling sector throughout the world, I host conferences all over the world, are talking about what's going to happen, what's happening, when's the legislation, when's the licensing coming into play, and once again, no one is talking about this. So here at Bet Talk, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, so the grey, the untalkable.
There's a huge grey area. Even crypto is an unregulated market. It's very, very highly used within the UAE, but AI technology, everything that's new coming up and emerging is what we're talking about, which is very exciting. So yeah.
So who are you aiming for? Like, who's your target audience? When you're putting out a show on Bet Talks, who do you want to attract? We are
targeting key players within the sector that have their knowledge, and we want their opinions. So I strongly believe that nothing happens in the UAE until the government give that stamp.
Yeah,
right. 100%. Now, people are very open to have their opinions. We are not an affiliate. We are not promoting any companies here at Bet Talk. We are just interviewing key players within these sectors and asking for their opinion.
So how do you differentiate between like informative information and then entertainment purposes? Is there like a line where you don't want to cross, giving away too much information in case it comes across too strong? Or
I think if you be too intrusive in asking too much, it depends what their title is, what their role is. Like, I mean, we've had people that have worked, for instance, with the Dubai Technology Police Department. Like, they can only say too much on these matters because we've had people that have got government backgrounds. We've had people within gaming backgrounds. So they are quite restricted to what they can actually talk about and what information they can give.
Yeah. And do you have to like pull it out of them, or are they quite opening?
I do push, and I'm quite. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do try and get as much out of it. I do wrap the questions round to bring it back if I didn't get the answers that we want. Because let's face the facts. No one wants a boring podcast.
No.
All right. People want to be engaged. They want to see good content, and they want to see good information.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've had a lot of guests on the show. You've had Gordon, you've had Professor Crypto, you've had Mitch, an Australian not influencer, Bobby, you've had Mende, everyone. Who is your favorite? I'm
not gonna name a favorite. I mean, because obviously we're Bet Talks is now rapidly growing on a fast scale. Okay?
Yeah, you guys are doing amazing.
Huge. So I'm not gonna say who my favorite is, but there's been some very influential people. There's been some great topics discussed. There's been some great solid opinions that have been given, and some very influential people within these sectors that we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's been the likes of lawyers. There's been the likes of influencers. There's been tech influencers. So we've had a lot of different influxes, lots of different opinions coming from different angles, which has made it very diversified.
So when you get the guest, you sort of like, how do you transcribe their script? Like on an individual basis, you look at their profile and what they want to talk about, or
so we look at their background on what they've achieved and what they was doing in the past, what they're doing now. It has to sort of obviously link around the topics that we're basing it around.
Yeah.
But I want to know people's feedback. I want to know people's story. I'm very interested in knowing people's story, and what they've done and what their opinion is for the future, because no one knows.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything that you guys have done is so inspiring. There's so many motivational speakers. There's informative tips. There's people that will watch and learn something from the show. So there's a lot of good work there.
Yeah, I get people reaching out to me every other week. I mean, we are launching weekly podcasts.
Yeah.
People reaching out to me saying we're doing great content, it's very entertaining. And like I say, talking about gaming legislation to soon be opened in the UAE is extremely great topic, which we want people's opinions once again.
It's brave. It's good because you're discussing sensitive things that maybe other people wouldn't even discuss.
Yeah.
So it's sort of bringing an element that has never ever been talked before about.
Well, let's face the facts. This is a change in history, and the speed that Bet Talks is growing at. We're going to be the front face of the UAE once that first casino opens. That the name of Bet Talks of gaming / betting, soon to be open within the UAE. We're going to be there. We're going to be wanting to be the front face of it.
You're going to be there. You're going to be cutting the ribbon when they open the first casino in Ras Al Khaimah.
No. Well, that's there. I mean, we're there to promote what the UAE are doing, and they're making it very clear that they're going to be doing that. So we're bringing in, like I say, bring in the influential people, and we'll ask them for their opinion.
Have you found that people won't come on the show, like any challenges because of the discussions that you guys are, or you've had no declines?
Not as of yet. We haven't had any declines. Obviously, we're up in the ante. It is a very low season within the UAE at the moment.
Yeah, too hot, right?
Yeah, it's extremely hot at the moment. But obviously, I do a lot of conference base, signed by a lot of different brands, which I'm going to be targeting key influential influencers, investors, C-levels that we can bring in, and obviously we can interview and get their opinion.
Yeah. I mean, you've had probably between the guests over 1 million followers.
Oh,
more
yeah,
than that.
for sure. More. I mean,
between everyone.
The engagement that we've had as a combined following is probably touching close to 2 million.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
How do you keep up with the latest trends, like the discussions and stuff?
I think emerging tech is rapidly growing so fast. I think it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up. Like, you cannot be in the know for everything. It's impossible, especially when you're covering so many different sectors. But a lot of sectors do combine with each other. Crypto is emerging into gaming. AI is integrated with the metaverse. Web3, there's so much that all integrates and links together under Web3. So I think it's hard to be in the know all the time. Of course,
and you have like a big production team behind you that are doing the research of what topics to talk about and what's going on in the UAE
100%. I mean,
around the world.
Bet Talks is not just a one-man band. I mean, there's so much
huge production.
There's so much back-end team that's supporting this, bringing in the filming, the editing, the crew, that to make this a success. What it has already started off at.
Yeah. How does a guy from Sheffield who's based in Dubai, who's traveling the world? I think I see you a new country every other week. How do you keep up with it all? That lifestyle is crazy. How did you build it? How did you become who you are?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting story, actually. I mean, I've been left the UK now for nearly 15 years. 15
years.
Yeah, I originally took a one-way ticket to Australia, to Sydney.
Best place in the world. I love it.
I was a backpacker back then. I was a backpacker, living in hostels, traveling, meeting new people.
In a suit, sorry?
No, the suits came a lot longer in my career. This is in my younger days, in my early 20s. And I used to have my hair down here. I grew my hair. I was in Australia, surfer dude. And I lived on a surf camp. I went from Sydney all the way up to Byron Bay, Noosa Heads, Whitsundays, Fraser Island, all the way up to Cairns. Cairns over to Darwin. Darwin down to Broome. Then Broome to Perth. Perth to Adelaide, did the Great Ocean Road from Adelaide to Melbourne.
How long was this?
2 years.
I was going to say, you can't do it.
No. Took me 2 years. And then I went into the centre, into Ayers Rock, Alice Springs. I did 2 years from travelling, backpacking, meeting new people, living in camper vans, living in hostels, working in bars, I worked on farms, I worked in avocado farms, to get my second year work visa. Yeah,
on a farm?
Yeah.
No.
This is in my early 20s. So I got my second year work visa to stay in Australia for 2 years. And then I sort of moved away from that and moved to Southeast Asia and lived in Singapore. And that's when my sort of sales background came into play. And I worked for a company called Royal Resorts. We were selling off-plan villa investments in Sentosa Island. Lived out in Thailand for a little while, worked for a company called Absolute. And And then I sort of left Southeast Asia and moved to a little small island called Malta.
Aha.
Yeah. And I moved with a guy that was working he was a manager at a company called Royal Resorts. He took me with him, and basically that's how sort of I got into the gaming sector. Because obviously Malta is a gaming hub.
Yeah, he just took you under his wing, and
yeah,
then it all began.
So he sort of just took me to Malta, and I ended up working with several different operators within the gaming sector. Malta is, like I say, a huge gaming hub for legislation, licensing, banking, etc., but mainly for licensing and tax benefits as well.
And it's beautiful.
It's
Let's
a
not
beautiful,
forget, Malta is stunning.
beautiful, beautiful. A lot of culture, a lot of history, over 3,000 years of history. Left Malta, 5 years there, moved to Dubai. Then COVID hit. Went back to the UK, and I'd never sort of lived in the UK, to be honest. I've been left for so long. But in that meantime, sort of based in Malta, I traveled throughout the US, traveled through Canada. I mean, I've been to every continent in the world, bar Antarctica. I've traveled over 120 different countries.
Have you been to the Arctic?
No, I've traveled, I've done every continent, bar Antarctica. Okay. So, from Canada down to the US, South America. I mean, now my travel is more business related, because I'm signed by several different gaming companies, crypto companies. They fly me to expos throughout the world. I work with, like I say, several different operators, exchanges. And
you've just done a huge deal, right? I'm not saying who, but
there's stuff that's happening in the US, which will be confirmed quite soon. Yeah, so
we're gonna get the first.
Yeah,
preview.
Of course. Yeah, so there's gonna be stuff happening out in the US. I do conferences out, obviously, in South America. We just come back from Hong Kong yesterday. There's a conference in Manila, part of the Sigma group. Things are growing on a rapid scale. And the rest is history. I mean, it started off as just a very ambitious backpacker. From 20 years old onwards, and just had big dreams and big ambitions that I just wanted to see the world and explore. And now the world has become a very small place when you've been everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
When you've been everywhere.
Does it get tiring? Like, you're constantly on the move.
It does. I mean, now it's more obviously business related, so you sort of get to see a little bit of the countries. But before, it was, I sort of traveled the whole of sort of Southeast Asia. I went Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Cambodia, KL. I went up to Burma, went into Laos. This is all like, I saw a lot of stuff that sort of people don't even know of.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of. Yeah. I did a lot down in the South Pacific. So I did New Zealand as well, Fiji, and a lot of these sort of remote countries that are so far away for Europeans. I know you spent a lot of time, obviously, in Australia.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So now that you've traveled the world and you're in Dubai, is Dubai the best place in the world?
There's no place like Dubai.
Best place in the world.
I promote it on my social media. I say, I've been all over the world. I have never, ever... Dubai's home, all right? I love the place. You can freely walk around. I'd say massive benefits of tax-free. Everywhere's brand new. Everywhere's brand new. The people you meet are influential people that you're surrounding yourself with, like-minded people. Zero crime. It's that amazing restaurants. The service is immense. The service is insane.
Do you not miss? Is it not? Can it be superficial? All the new stuff and the constant future and technology and fast pace. Do you never miss the history and the?
I think if you want to be ahead of the game, you've got to be where it's happening, and it's happening here. And
you want to be ahead of the game? Oh,
I am ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game, and things are happening on a rapid scale for me. And especially these last 12, 18 months, has just really rocketed. But things take time. Things take time. I'm a massive believer of things take time, and network is key. Network is key. You got to surround yourself with the right people, and also consistency. I think you consistently got to keep doing the right things right, and eventually things will just work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you keep doing the right things right, things are just going to work.
So you have asked a lot of people the question of, what do you think will happen to the UAE if gaming, gambling is allowed? What's your opinion?
I strongly believe there is no stopping Dubai. There is no stopping it. Saudi are years behind before anything even, it's in my opinion, before anything even gets remotely close to Dubai. The government are so behind rapid expansion, especially with now tech companies. Property market, I can't see it stopping. It's booming like never, ever before. The infrastructure of it is just amazing. The laws of it is basically... Dubai, if you don't bring anything here, right, it's basically time to leave, right? You're not coming here to get anything, right? You're coming here to bring something
to the table.
Yeah. And if you ain't bringing nothing to the table, then it's good night.
See
Thank
you later.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And it separates the different kind of people and that they want here in the UAE.
But, okay, so I was in Las Vegas last July. I was in Macau in January. So I've been in these places. Do you think Dubai would accept the crowd that comes with these sort of places? Because
I think gambling, gaming it can bring a negative vibe. I think, but the way the ruling and the laws within the UAE are controlled, and it's based on a fear factor. It is based on a fear factor.
People are more regulated.
People are more disciplined to know if you break the rules here, there are serious punishment. And it's like being in the black book back in the US.
Yeah.
You're in a black book, you get stamped, that's it, you're out.
Yeah.
And you're never coming back.
It's quite good, actually.
Yeah. So, like, you look at, America, huge serious crime rate. Europe, serious crime rate, right? So, is that going to affect it? I can't see it. All there'll just be is more influx of security, of police enforcement. It will bring so much revenue to have gaming in the UAE, so much more entertainment, because where gambling and gaming comes, it creates entertainment around it. Yeah. Look at Vegas. It's a huge, crazy place. Very fun place. And I've been to Vegas 4 times. I've never, ever felt uncomfortable.
Really?
I've never felt uncomfortable
I'm not sure when I was there.
Vegas.
I just don't know if Vegas could be in Dubai, and the people that were there in Las Vegas.
I felt uncomfortable in New York. I felt uncomfortable in LA. I've not felt comfortable in, and Miami I felt uncomfortable in certain places. Yeah. South Beach is an interesting place. Yeah. But Vegas, no. It's built for tourists. If everyone is getting mugged or assaulted or this or these problems, then it's going to create an issue with tourism. And Vegas is built for tourism and nothing else. All right, there are people that live in Vegas, but it's not a place. Yeah, how many people do you know? Oh yeah, I'm going to move to Las Vegas. It's not, you know what I mean? It doesn't really happen. So it's the same as Ras Al Khaimah. It will be built for people to come. It will be securityed on a high level, and it will. In my opinion, it is only a massive plus for me.
So you think Dubai will do it better because they're going to regulate it a bit more? That obviously there's no crime here anyway. So if it happens, they're going to do it on a larger scale.
I've said this before on the show. One of the opening episodes. Every single offshore, I call it haram territory, offshore in Dubai, such as the QE2, the Bulgari residence, the Burj Al Arab, Blue Waters, all of these offshore islands that have been built remotely is not classed as Muslim territory. So they are rightfully okay to put a casino on these. Even the Atlantis, apparently, the new Atlantis Royale. These are catered to have casinos in them, right? It's all built around that. In my opinion, it's all built around that. So once Marjan Island, the Win launches, I strongly believe within 12, maybe 24, 38 months, whatever, that everything will start opening up in Dubai, and it will just become a huge gaming hub, whereas Macau, Dubai, Vegas.
Yeah, because I mean, between Macau and Vegas, there's Monaco, obviously, but there's not really anywhere.
I mean, Monaco's fun for about an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's not much going off there, is there? It's a tiny place, one casino. I mean, I've been to Monaco a couple of times. I mean, it's not a lot happening there.
Yeah.
So
you think this will be the place, and this will be the happening?
It's happening here. I mean, there's so much movement. This is just the icing on the cake, and it is. I mean, we've had some people on the show that have a lot of insight to this. A lot of people that say, I don't believe it's going to happen. So there's got to be some truth around it.
I think it's good to get all the opinions, the controversial ones, the strongly supportive ones, the ones against it. Like, it's very interesting to see what people are saying, you know? It's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, listen, this is just the beginning. We're growing bigger and bigger weekly. Like I say, the episodes are out weekly, so follow the episodes, follow the links, get involved, support us. All right, if you want to come on the show and you can bring some influence, then listen, we're all open to any influence, any knowledge that you have within these sectors that we're covering.
Yeah. Well, Rick, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Woo!